I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show.
Saquon! Good, happy Saquon Monday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out the credit union difference, TrueMark.com/PHLY. Wow. What a day yesterday. Yesterday was like a party. It was a New Year's Eve party. It played out before the entire city of Philadelphia. Firstly, it was the Cowboys. It was another destruction of the Cowboys. Our buddy Pat McClune from the editor's desk hit me up and went, dude, 2 blowouts of Dallas? How great is that? Alone, what a season this is. Before we get to the playoffs, at some point, we have to relive this season because this season has been one big bucket of fun, one big bucket of joy. This has been an incredible year. And yesterday, in the last kind of meaningful game, it was just a party, 41-7, and Saquon reaches the 2K club. He was just incandescent, right? 31 carries, 167 yards, and just like it always is, pounded away in the first half, and then things start to open up in the second half, and the gaping runs start to hit, and it leaves him right now 101 yards short of the record of Eric Dickerson's record. I know we got the meaningless game on Sunday, and there's going to be a lot of talk about, hey, do you play Saquon? Do you not play him? And I have to be honest with you, forever, for the longest time, I was on the side of, no, you know what? Make sure you're careful with him. Make sure that this is not, you don't imperil him at any point. I could easily talk a big game when it was just in theory. But now that it's here, I think you have to go get the record. I think you have to do it. It's against the Giants. It's all team. It's poetic. I think you owe it to the player to be the number one all-time rushing yard leader in the history of the NFL. I don't care about, the 17 games or 16 games. I think you got to do it. I think you owe it to Saquon to go get the 101. And I don't want to think about the unthinkable. I'm not even going to put it out there, but you get my point. I think ultimately it's such an honor. It's such a thing that, you got to give the guy a shot at it. I think you got to give it a shot at it. And it's funny because I'm watching, I was looking at the box score, and Jonathan Taylor is having a day against the Giants, right? Giants, they win. They have they put up 45, and Drew Lock's throwing 5 touchdowns and all that stuff. But their run defense is not good. And so I think Saquon could maybe get this in a half, maybe in 3 quarters. And I love to see it. It's just, I think everybody would. But ultimately, I think you owe him. This season has been one of the most, probably the greatest season ever for certainly any Eagles running back. But for individually speaking, the greatest individual Eagles season from an offensive standpoint. Like you had T.O., right? You had a couple Donovan. You had a couple of these years. Nobody has done anything like this, what we saw from Saquon. And it doesn't matter, right? Like if it's Kenny Pickett, Jalen, right? You look yesterday with Kenny Pickett, and you go, early on, they're going to be able to stop him. They're going to sell out to stop the run. And ultimately, it was body blow. And then he's able to just kind of loosen the defense and then get his gaping runs. He's special. He's all class. He's a guy that you just want to wrap your arms around, man. He's elite. He's regal. He does things the right way. God, he's the consummate pro. I think you gotta give him give him the mantle. And I know that this goes against everything in my mind about the Super Bowl and what's most important and keeping your eye on the prize. But this thing has been so special. I love to see him get it. He's incredible to watch. He really is. Like just the subtle movements. One of the things I love about sports is the art of movement, right? Movement. And nobody's more creative than Barkley. He runs in an art form. There's something beautiful about the running back. It's why we always kind of think about the running back. And this year has been the renaissance of the running back position, right? And Saquon's at the forefront of it. He was amazing yesterday. And they crushed Dallas, and they won a division, another NFC East crown. Listen, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie got to take a bow. Nick Sirianni. I mean, this has been an amazing year, right? Like just an incredible year. So much to unpack for the playoffs, but what a day. It was a party right down to that great story of A.J. Brown throwing Tanner McKee's touchdown ball into the stands, and then the fan going, I got you, getting it back to him. It was just played out perfectly. What a day. It was a day to really show great pride of being an Eagle fan. You're an Eagle fan today. You got to be on cloud nine. It doesn't get better than this. From all of you think about it, right? We had the Super Bowl, but it's been a slog for a lot of years, man. A lot of disappointment, a lot of black eyes. Man, yesterday was really the height. I'm not talking about titles or anything else, but it's the height of being an Eagle fan, man. We got paid off. It felt great. Good morning, my boy, VG, Violations Greg.
Go Birds. How about that? How about those talking heads in training camp yapping about the Cowboys and their love of them? You remember that? 75-13, they outscored the Cowboys in 2 games. That's insane.
Yeah, I reminded my so I do a show on Fox. I've been doing it forever. And Jason Fitz, who used to be on ESPN.
Yeah, I hear you. When I can't sleep, I put it on like because it's on at 5 a.m.
Yeah, 5 to 9 on a Saturday morning. Yeah, let me tell you something. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. Actually, I always like doing it, but it's a chore to wake up, believe me. But I argued with Jason about this whole thing about Dallas. He's like, the Cowboys are going to be good. I'm like, why? Like, tell me what do you like about them? Mm-hmm. I'm going through the running backs. I'm going through their weapons and the whole thing. And not for nothing, right? It was so great because Saturday morning, because we're talking about the game, we go through every game, and I'm going, dude, what about your boys, man? All right, what about? I told you the Eagles are going to be good. No, I didn't think they would be this good.
Yeah,
but who did? 13-3. What a year! What an incredible year. But Barkley is the story, dude. Is there ever been? And we forget that he's from a sleepy town an hour from here.
Right. Like Lancaster area?
Yeah.
Lehigh Valley?
Allentown. Bethlehem, yeah.
All right.
But like you think about it, right? Like it's pretty awesome. He comes home to this team, right? And he has the year that he had.
You can't. I mean, it's a storybook story or whatever. It should be a movie. It's poetic. The drama of it's great. The whole preseason stuff with the Giants and the way they talked about them on Hard Knocks or whatever. Like, you couldn't make this up right now. And with the chance to beat the record against the Giants, I wanted the record. I may be anti-you now. It's weird how I think we flopped. I have hesitation.
Now you don't want to do it?
I don't know.
You guys flipped.
I don't know.
Listen,
How is that?
Listen, I'm not one.
No, I thought for sure he was going to be like, nah.
Like I may have it. Like I'm not one that's married. What I believe is what I believe, right?
Yeah.
But I'm willing to amend my belief. I don't need to be like, oh my God. I think that's part of the problem in life is when you don't move off of your original point for the sake of being consistent. Sometimes facts change and feelings change.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about like just being greedy, going for the record. The game is different. That doesn't matter to me. Actually, people saying 17 games, 16 games because if he breaks it, he's going to do it in less carries, which is actually more important. That's more effective.
Agreed.
He's got like 34 less carries right now, so he breaks the record in under 33 carries. It's a more effective campaign.
Yeah.
So there's that going for you. But I don't know, and I want to beat up on the Giants.
The Giants are irrelevant.
Nah, but it's doing it to them and sticking it to them after Hard Knocks is part of it.
Let me ask you a question. All right. Put everything aside.
Yeah.
Just focus on Saquon.
Yeah.
Doesn't he deserve it?
If I just focus on Saquon, I think Saquon deserves a really long playoff run and a chance at a Super Bowl.
But it's not either or.
It's
right?
not.
It's
but
not either or.
You're tempting the fate.
Is
You're
there
tempting the gods.
Percentage of it that? Yeah, I feel you. That was my original point. But now that it's here and it's 101 yards against a team that's porous against the run.
If it was 35 yards, I'd be all in. 100 yards.
Yeah, but 100. I guarantee.
They're the second worst rushing defense in football.
I looked it up yesterday because I was curious. For Saquon to get 100 yards, he was minus like 350.
Wow, yeah.
It was something like that.
Betting wise, yeah.
It was something like that. So the odds of him getting 101 yards against the Giants, who are not good.
Well, he's averaging 5.8 a carry, I think, right now.
Plus, by the way, what do you want to get Jalen a little feel? You don't want Jalen going in off 2 games.
I don't know. Do you?
I would. Yeah. I would give him a feel for even a quarter.
The thing is, this team hasn't had a bye. So the bye week's week 5. They've had some grueling games. Like, I don't know. Does everyone just need a week off?
Grueling games at 41-7 is grueling.
No, but that stretch they did was mentally and physically tough.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why.
Do they need a bye week?
That's why. Yesterday was a party, right? They've had their share of blowout wins. I don't know. I don't feel like this team is overly stressed. It's not like they've played, these 1-score games like Minnesota.
No, I hear
Minnesota's played 1-score. Like even yesterday, the Vikings had the game and thought, hey, we could relax, and then all of a sudden it became a game, and they got stressed again.
I'm looking at Zach, who we're going to have on, who does a great job, tweeted out a quote from Lane Johnson, which I think leads you into how they're thinking. Lane said, Eric Dickerson's record was 16 games, so if it was 17 games, it would make sense anyway. Eric Dickerson is who he is. Saquon is who he is. We just wanted to get to 2,000. We were fine with that. Better be safe than sorry.
All right. Well,
so, that might be the headspace in the room.
Yeah, listen, if they don't go for it, I'm not going to cry about it.
Right.
But if you're asking me right now, do I do it? I do it.
But if they do it and he twists an ankle, do you cry about it, though?
You
got to think about this.
I know you got to think about it.
Stop putting that energy out there.
But
that's not.
But you know what it is? It's like the same thing of where a kid's pitching a no-hitter, a perfect game. And you go, well, he's at 103 pitches. Do you go for the extra, could be 130?
Sure. His arm will be extra tired in 5 days.
Yeah, but
it's not like a sprained ankle is weeks.
No, but people think about, oh my God, he could be done.
Yeah, I think about it a little differently. Football is just such a risky sport.
Well, yeah, of course.
I'm amazed you're into this record now. You were so anti-record 3 weeks ago.
I was. Dude, I completely was. I'm swept up. You know what it is? That dude, he embodies everything I respect about
everything
football.
You want your children to be as an athlete.
As a father.
Yeah.
My entire, it's amazing, man. Like everything changed when I had children, right? Like your mindset especially now that they're like young adults, they're like little adults, little people. Case my oldest, big people. Like your mind goes into always how you view things is through that lens as a father. And I watch Barkley and I see how he comports himself, and I just think he's a gentleman, man. I love that dude. And I don't know. I'd love to see him on top of the list.
No, I feel you, but
and that's why.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And again, because I came from where you are now, I obviously understand it. Like I'm like, oh my God, especially since you don't get a bye. Like it would be a no-brainer if you had 1 seed and there was a bye coming next week.
I don't know. Is this something that as the coach you have to make the decision, or is it something that you sit down with Saquon and the offensive line and Stoutland and talk about? Like,
yeah, I'd say I make it. I think nowadays,
what is better for bonding for the room?
I think that it's important as a head coach to get everybody's opinion, feel good, talk it through, like not just give you the edict. Like back in the day, that worked, edict. But nowadays, I think it's better to be, to sit down and talk it through. Like I be like, yo, guys, listen, here, I have my opinion, right? But I want to kind of get where your heads are at. And if everybody's like, and Saquon's going to be like, oh man, no, I'm good. I got my 2K. I'm great. I'm one of 8 people in the history of the NFL that have had 2,000 yards. That Lane tells you, right? We got the 2K. Do you guys want to go for the record? What are you feeling? Saquon goes, nah, I'm good with anybody. Because he's going to be like this. I'm good. What everybody wants to do, I'm good with.
I mean, is it I don't know what a locker room is like in a safe space, but is it, would people look down? If Cam Jurgens like, yo, dude, I've played like 1,300 snaps. I could use a week off right now. Like, can you say that in that locker room? No.
Well, can you? I mean, you can say it without saying that.
Right.
I mean, that's part of what you do. And part of it, for Cam Jurgens to be like, I want to play. Like, here's the other thing. I got a month, hopefully another 5 weeks, and I'm good. I've got all the time in the world. I got to get through the next 5 weeks.
That's a long stretch. With the week coming, bye week coming in week 5, that's a long stretch.
All right, but that's what you do. It's a season. It's like, how you, and now you just get amped up. Right, like I'm not diminishing that you're beat up, but this is what you signed up for. This is what in your mind you want to play. Players want to play. Just understand that mindset. The one mindset I've been covering sports for my entire life. Players want to play. Nobody wants all. It's not like you're working a mundane job. You're working any job. You go, man, I need off. Right, like I understand that. That's athletes are. This is the season. You're programmed to, play through the season. You want to play.
Let me ask you, I want to think about the Giants for a second as our division rival, as they did Saquon dirty with not even giving him a legit offer. What is the better revenge on the Giants? Him breaking the record against them, or the Giants beating us and ending up with like the 10th pick and no shot at a franchise quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I can't look at draft. But first of all, they won yesterday, which is unbelievable, right? Like, and listen, I applaud
Superboy Steichen. I mean, he might be on the hot seat.
Yeah, I applaud him. To be honest with you,
the Giants,
yeah,
coming out
because you're supposed to play. I get the tank thing and all, and believe me, I'm a part of the Sixers, the NBA, but the NFL is a little different in that, there's only 17 of them a week. You can't throw them.
I mean, you
can.
Yeah.
But I applaud them.
Right.
I should give you the right thing to say, right? Like that's just the right.
Yeah.
Was it me? I'd rather lose.
Right. I want to see them in misery for a decade.
But to me, it's all about Saquon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about Saquon for me. So if Saquon tells me and the O-line tells me, yo, fellas, I'm taking a knee. We're good. All right. But if there's the least bit of, hey, I really would like to get the record, let's go.
You do a half? Well, you can't even say we're doing a half because if he's 12 yards short in the first half, there's no way he's only playing a half.
No, you're playing until you get the record.
Right.
And then you have this big grand celebration. Could you imagine that?
And do Giants players at this point just let him get it because they're a little irritated at their front office? I would say there's a little bit of that, right?
It's one of the greatest.
I'd be like, go get it, man. Like, they did you dirty.
Why, you're gonna do like a Favre? Did you see what happened with the Gastineau and Favre?
Oh yeah.
And Gastineau said, "Dude, you laid down." At first, Favre was like, "Yeah," and like, "You hurt me, man.
You took my record from me. I want my sack back."
Yeah, that was messed up, man.
Yeah,
that was messed up. But if you,
Dickerson would lose his mind if everything, the whole D line laid down.
You'd be like freaking out. But you made a great point, which is the amount of carries and the workload that it's done, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's an important
season
thing.
Is unbelievable. Like, we have seen this incredible season. It's ridiculous.
I don't think I can't even remember a season with a running back. It feels like every game you expect a 70-yard run. He's going to break one, it feels like, every time.
I close my eyes, and when I was a kid, I remember Wilbert, and it was the era of the running back. And then they had bad backs after that, right? Like, Anthony Toney. Right?
Heath Sherman.
You're right, Heath Sherman, right? I mean, bad backs, right? Yeah. And I love Keith Byers, right? But he was never the running back.
Some hybrid.
Right. He became a half a tight end, fullback, the whole thing. You had Ricky for a spell. You had Deuce.
Yeah, Ricky was nice. Ricky was good. Deuce was nice.
Yeah, B. West was terrific.
Was really good.
But even he never got the amount of carries. Like, he could have been Marshall Faulk if he had the workload, right?
Yeah.
And, you go through these guys, then you have Shady, and Shady was terrific. Sure, she should have stayed. But nothing's been like this year.
Nothing felt like this.
Nothing. Like, I remember when I was a kid always hearing the story about how the Eagles were close to having O.J. Simpson. It was a draft thing. Like, they won a game and all the thing. And, he was this elite back, right? And I often wonder, like, wow, what would it be like to have a running back like that? Because all those other teams had big, great backs.
Yeah.
Now they got it. Like, we've enjoyed this season. This season has been incredible. What a joy.
Well, it's also, I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at, because the running backs are back, it seems like. They're back in a way.
Yes, they are.
But this year, it's not a bunch of young guys. It's like Saquon. It's Derrick Henry. It's Josh Jacobs. It's Aaron Jones. Like, these old heads are still cranking out, because Barkley, I'm just thinking about that because he looks like he's 22 years old out there the way he's running the ball.
He's amazing. Taste the cake down. You got to give him a shot, Ant. I feel you, man. I feel you. I know. I feel you. VG's starting to get to me now. I'm like, well, am I being greedy? Like, you're always one that you look into the ethereal, right? Like, you look into the universe and you decide, what am I tempting fate?
Karma, fate.
Yeah,
like football gods.
I try not to look
like,
at,
I know I feel that sense for vengeance for Barkley, but then it's like eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. You can't be thinking like that.
Yeah,
vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
But it's not about vengeance.
It kind of is.
No, it's not. It's about, for me, it's not about vengeance. I don't care about, I just find it poetic that it's against the Giants. To me, it's
but
more.
Why do you find it poetic? It's because there's that little bit of revenge against them.
No, I mean,
if it was the Bengals, there wouldn't be no poetic.
It's poetic because they let him go. What vengeance? I don't have any vengeance against the Giants. Listen, 2 years ago, they offered him a contract. He said no, right? Then they didn't offer him a contract. All right, well, that's between them. Their loss is my gain, all right? They were stupid. What vengeance do I have? In fact, I got gratitude.
Oh, coming from a place of gratitude is nice.
I have gratitude.
All right.
Like, thanks, Giants.
Yeah.
Look at me. We got a Super Bowl. So my motive is completely for Barkley.
I don't know what's the best for Barkley. I want Barkley to get a ring. I want him to get a ring.
My motive is that you're going to be the top of the rushing pecking order. That's freaking awesome. That may last for 25 years. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Well, I get it. We're going to talk to Zach about it. We'll talk to Franny about it. We'll get the brain. Will be he'll be chiming in on the whole thing. Lots to get to as we hang out on a Victory Monday, a Cowboys Victory Monday, an ass whooping, 41-7. Oh! Pickett playing with broken ribs.
I thought he played well.
But he did. McKee, right?
Yeah, flashed.
Like it was a great day.
Yeah.
It was a party day.
Yeah.
Kelly Green's. It was the New Year's Eve party.
The weather was insane.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I can't believe I didn't get down there to tailgate. It was like perfect tailgate weather.
Oh, well, are you kidding me? Without a doubt. All right, lots to get to. We're just kicking it off, VG. I'm Cuz on this Victory Monday. Let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers, some of our friends. And Golden Nugget Jewelers, listen, I know the holidays are over, right? The Christmas is over. And now you're looking at the new year, and you might be thinking, hey, Valentine's Day is around the corner, all right? What am I going to get my girl? What am I going to get my wife? Maybe I'm popping the question. And if you're popping the question, where are you going to get the ring? Golden Nugget is where you get the ring. My man, your own 8th and Chestnut, go see him. He's going to give you a whole kind of walk, hold your hand, grab it, right? Sit down. Here's where you look at it. Look at the diamonds. You'll understand it, put it together, what the ring would look like. He'll mock it up for you. It'll be a great experience, and you'll have the ring that will make her melt. All right, I saw it yesterday, last night. In fact, one of the Washington Commanders got engaged. Popped the question at the end of the night after the game was over. So maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
got down on one knee to his girl.
Wow.
Special teams player.
Because I saw they did Penix actually propose on Christmas Eve or
Yeah,
something.
Penix, yeah.
It's the season.
Yeah, it's the season. So do it with Golden Nugget Jewelers. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. We're also brought to you by Rothman. Yes, our great friends at Rothman Orthopedics. Practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. So if your joints are aching, your hands are cramping, you're back out of whack, Rothman's got you. Their mission is high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leads to new treatments, better outcomes. Each Rothman doc is laser focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They have a team for every body part right in your backyard, so you can cross over that defense. You can give a little shimmy shake on the driveway, right? Root for your teams like no other fans in the country. The Rothman Orthopedics, they specialize in you. And again, for more than 50 years, Rothman has participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials. The goal, expand advancing knowledge, developing treatments, and improving outcomes for the benefit of their patients. Rothman Orthopedics specialize in orthopedics, and you visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more, and you make an appointment today. All right. Now, joining us, he does a wonderful job. This is his time of year, covering the birds. My main man, Zachariah Zach Berman. What do you say, Zachariah?
Hey, good morning. Good talking to you guys.
Dude, that was a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, it was impressive. And when you combine it with what they did in Dallas earlier this year, you don't see that. You don't see them dominate the Cowboys twice in a year the way they did. It really says something, frankly, about the quality of the team when you're able to blow out opponents the way the Eagles have for much of these past 2 months.
Yeah, dude, this season, wow. I mean, I think back to the slogs and all these other years. There's been good, really good years. This year it's been just remarkable. I mean, right down, and the Saquon season has just been the cherry on the top.
You're absolutely right. And even Saquon said before the year, I asked him, was 2,000 yards within the realm of possibility for you? Was that something you even envisioned? And he said at that time he thought 2,000 all-purpose yards. That was the goal. And because he was thinking of the way he was used at Penn State and the way he was used with the Giants. And he said pretty quickly here, he saw he didn't have to carry the team. He just had to carry the ball, right? So he was when he got those numbers early on this year, he thought, all right, 2,000 is possible. And with the way the offensive line got behind it, that number meant a lot for the players in the locker room.
Dude, you look yesterday, 31 carries. 31 carries. How many times have you had 30 carries this year? 3?
Third, no, I think that's his first time with 30. I think,
I thought he had one other one.
Okay.
I gotta go back and look. But that 31 carries, and he looked as fresh as when the game just started. It's uncanny.
Yeah, so on that final drive there, right? All the offensive linemen, the final drive he played, he gets the ball 5 consecutive times. The offensive linemen are all talking to each other. Lane Johnson says, let's get this mother effing record. You have Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson tells Jordan how many yards away they are. Jordan turns to Landon and says from the actual record, and Landon says no, from 2K, right? And so that's the number that Lane Johnson said they were really shooting for, that 2,000-yard record. But you saw it in the fourth quarter, because at halftime it didn't seem like he was going to get there. Then he had that productive third quarter, and then for him, he was 47 yards away going into that drive. They were determined to get it. 5 straight carries. He gets 52 yards on those 5 carries, the 20+ yarder to break the record. For him to be doing that late in the game, having 300+ carries this season, it says something about his durability for sure.
All right, so let's get to it, and I'll ask you. I mean, I flopped. All right, truth be told, 3 weeks ago we were on this thing, and I'm giving you coach speak, and no, preserve them. Last game of the year doesn't matter, and now it's here, and now it's within reach against a very porous run defense with the Giants. Forget the fact of the poetry involved here.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I care about the poetry. I care about the narrative, right? I mean, so I want him to go after it. That's me talking as a reporter, as someone who I spent a lot of time around Saquon this year, talking about his history, his understanding of the history of the position. You're talking about a record that's lasted 30 years, right? And you don't know if you're gonna get this chance again. No one's rushed for 2,000 yards twice in a season, in their career. I know Derrick Henry can do it this year, but when you're on the doorstep here, you're facing your former team, you're 101 yards away. I want him to go after it. Now, that said, I don't think I don't anticipate that. I expect them, or my guess is that they sit guys. My guess is that they look at 2,000 as like the big number that they hit. Now, the one variable is this. The one variable is if they say, you know what, Jalen Hurts didn't play last week. Right. They want to get Jalen Hurts meaningful work going into the postseason. I do know for a fact.
I brought that up in PG.
Yeah, in 2022, the Eagles thought it was valuable for Jalen Hurts that he played that final game. He was dealing with the injury in late December, plays that final game against the Giants, and they carry the momentum into the postseason. Now, of course, they had a bye week then, so he could rest. And the other side of the equation is last year, the Eagles play their guys against the Giants up in North Jersey the first half to try to get some type of offensive momentum, and A.J. Brown gets hurt. So, look, I get it. You don't want any of your starters to get injured in a game that doesn't have meaning here for the postseason. But as a reporter, as someone who's been around Saquon all year, as someone who's seen every yard he's had, I want him to go get it.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I mean, I look at it and go, hey, Jalen, get him a little game action. And that Giant defense, I mean, they're really porous against the run. You saw, I had one eye on Jonathan Taylor because I'm thinking about this, and Taylor had like 169. Yeah. It was pretty effortless too.
Exactly. And look, I know I can be romantic about the stuff sometimes, but
me too. I'm guilty.
Like sports is about moments, and I understand I understand it's about winning championships, and I get that, and that's what matters most. Like that's what they're here for. But when you think of Eric Dickerson, what do you think of? You think of the all-time rushing record. Yes. Right? And for Saquon to be able to do that, to me, that's history. That's also why you play the game. So I get it. I'm being selfish as a reporter. I would love to chronicle it. I would love to be there seeing, the possibility of it, like I said, against his former team, the team that let him go. But I don't anticipate that happening.
All right, go ahead, VG. Give us your.
You know, Zach's a little enthusiastic about this.
Well, he's right though.
Bubble wrap him.
But that's part of the. And for me, listen, part of it's selfish. I want to see it, but more, it's about him. Like I think the guy deserves it. Like he is, and you know him better than anybody talking here. That dude is a gentleman. He is an elite, regal player who walks the walk. Man, I mean, that dude deserves everything.
Isn't the 2,000 club enough? There's only 8 other people.
Okay, well, you could be number one.
Greedy pigs get stuck. Is that the saying they say?
That's not being greedy.
I don't know,
I don't think it's being greedy. You think it's being greedy, Zach?
I don't think it's being greedy. I understand the look. As Nick said, as they said in the locker room, they're here to win the Super Bowl, right? Like this is about hanging up a banner. It's not necessarily about records. In the locker room, there were conflicting opinions on this. You know, Lane Johnson said that you'd rather be safe than sorry. Getting 2,000 is significant. Jordan Mailata said absolutely you want to be a part of history, and he, as a captain, he's going to tell Nick Sirianni that. This is an interesting position for Nick Sirianni. If you recall, back in 2021, Sirianni played Devontae Smith in the first half of a week 7, of the final of a week 18 game, so Devontae could get the Eagles' rookie receiving record. The rookie receiving record is really not that big. It's not that prestigious. Like I get it's cool.
Rushing title.
Yeah. This is the all-time. This is the all-time single season rushing record. It means something. It means something to Saquon for sure. But I get it. Winning means something more, and you don't want to get greedy. You don't want it's not just Saquon. You don't want Mekhi Becton to get hurt because you're chasing the record, or something like that to happen. I get that. I just think that this doesn't happen very often. It's like I think back. All right, that Patriots team in 2007 that went undefeated.
Wanted to go unbeaten.
Yeah, they didn't win the Super Bowl. So you kind of look back and you say, all right, they didn't win the Super Bowl, and maybe if they rested their guys, it would have helped. I thought that was so cool, that game that year when they're playing the Giants, last game of the season, and they're going for history. I think history matters. I like that
do
stuff.
too. I do.
Super Bowl history matters.
You're right.
I get
VG,
Jordan
you're absolutely right.
Excitement, but hey, Jordan, I know you want to be part of history. Name one offensive lineman from that '84 Rams team. I mean, come on, like
the flip side is this:
winning team. That's way more.
Name the '84 Super Bowl team, right? Like you think back and you say what you remember from 1984 is that is when you think back of I believe it was, but that's the point, is you remember Eric Dickerson in 1984.
No, I feel you,
Zach. You're close to everyone down there. Do you think is this Nick and the team making this decision? Is Howie involved? Is Lurie involved in this? Where's this coming from? The final decision, you think?
There's nothing that happens in that building that Howie's not involved in. I imagine this is a joint conversation. I imagine they'll talk to the leadership council. Ultimately, it is Nick's decision. I think they'll take the temperature of everyone in the room, and Nick's gonna have to decide. And look, they don't play their guys in the preseason, right? And I know you're not chasing history then, but they care a lot about the players' health and not exposing yourself in games that don't matter. And then this is a situation where nothing changes if you win or lose. The players could be fresher. You don't have that first round bye. So I imagine Howie's involved in this, maybe even Jeffrey, but ultimately it's Nick's call.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's the one who pays on this one either way. I mean, if he plays them and something happens, God forbid, Nick's gonna get skewered. It's a heavy win-lose for Nick here, this decision. I mean, if something happens, we're gonna crush Nick. Crush them. You'll crush them. You'll crush them.
I won't.
And I think you will.
I know I won't. I mean, I know I won't. I mean, again, if you go for it, everybody's going to be involved. Go, all right, like, is what it is. Listen, I understand where you're coming from. I was at that. A month ago, I was saying the same stuff you're saying today. And maybe I'm caught up in the moment. And maybe it's easy for me because I don't have to make the decision.
Yeah.
I can sit here and just talk about it with Zach, and we can just we don't have to make the decision. If it was me making the decision, I probably would sit him.
All right.
If it was on me to make the decision.
Yeah.
But since I'm all just throwing rose petals at Saquon, I want to see him get it. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It does to me. And again, like it's because it's the what if here. It's the you don't know if something's gonna happen. Frankly, like you don't even know if he breaks it, if he plays it. If he plays, and there's different ways you can go about it. You can say you want to get the starters one half. You want them to be, you want them to be locked in. You don't want them to take the week off, so you give them one half of work, and you give them a chance to get it in one half. I don't know the right answer, but my guess is that the main guys sit this game.
Do you put Hurts in for a couple series?
Well, this is the thing. If you put Hurts in, you got to put everyone in, right? You got to put your line in.
Well, you do.
Yeah,
but you tell them, like, listen, I need like a quarter out of you guys or whatever, 2 drives, just to get Jalen, shake a little any of the rust off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not that it's second nature to him. So I don't. I think we exaggerate that a little bit. Yeah. But just to feel a hit again after there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure. I don't put as much into that because I mean, not to belittle a head injury, but I think you can return from the concussion and be back to your normal self. Whereas if you're dealing with, he was dealing with the shoulder the year, 2 years ago. I think you want to kind of get the guy back in a rhythm. He missed more time than he did this year. So no, I don't think Jalen needs to play a few series. I think you can get him in practice, kind of simulate that. I see what you're saying about taking the hit, but no, I don't think that would be a priority.
For discussion purposes, looking back at Saquon's last game against the Giants this year, he averaged 10.3 yards an attempt, 17 carries for 176
There you go.
yards.
It does it for 10
carries. All right, I'm in on 10 carries.
10 carries is in.
I'm in.
All right, that's nothing. 10 carries, man. It's a walk in the
I'm in
park.
on 10 carries.
All right, it's easy.
By the way, if they play him in the fourth quarter in that game, Saquon might be 30 yards away right now instead of 101 yards away.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a real good point. How'd they come out as far as injury wise? Pretty good.
Yeah, Pickett's a little banged up. We'll see about Kenny. CJ spoke to CJ in the locker room. He seemed fine there. Bryce Huff came out. Missed. He only played 2 snaps there. Yeah, he hit his shoulder, so it was not the thumb, but he's clearly working through something there. Otherwise, those were, Mekhi Becton seemed fine. He went back in the game. He was fine. So it seemed like they're okay, other than Kenny, who's clearly dealing with the ribs injury. I'm curious to see if you see a lot of Tanner McKee this weekend.
So let's look ahead 2 weeks. It's looking like Washington.
It's looking more like it's looking closer to Green Bay at this point, which I think is a bad draw for the Eagles. I mean, it's a situation here where the Eagles need it. Well, the Commanders must lose to the Cowboys next week. Otherwise, it's Green Bay, from what I understand. I think that's the situation it is now, where because of that Washington win last night.
I guess I figured that Washington would just lay down.
Yeah, I mean, unless Washington, they could do that unless they care about the seeding, right? They're either they're either the 6 or 7. So if they lay down and
so if they win, who do they play?
So if they win, if they win, they would play the Rams. They would play the NFC. They would play the NFC West.
Would rather play the Rams than the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
unless they feel like they can go in and beat the Eagles, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that was a bad outcome yesterday afternoon. Green Bay would
I
worry
guess
me
I
for the
was
Eagles
looking at it.
more
They're
than
playing
Washington.
at Dallas, so
Yeah, if they get
Yeah.
the 6th seed, they play either the Rams or the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the 6th seed, I think.
oh yeah.
And I mean, I think Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to be a tough out in the postseason. I think that's a team that can travel. That's a team that can play different ways. They're a well-coached team.
They didn't
I
even
would be
play particularly well yesterday on defense. Now, the only thing that I agree with you, because I think their offense, because of Jacobs, that O-line, their front's good, but their secondary can be had a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. And look, the Eagles beat them on a neutral field in week 1, right? And so you'd have to be confident being at home that you can take care of business on your home turf here. I get that,
No, I hear
but
you, dude. Listen, you're right, because that game, first of all, you got to throw the game out. It was in Brazil field.
Yeah.
It's the first game, but it is kind of like it bookends. I'm with you. I don't like that. I'm not in love with it.
I just have this.
Yeah.
I remember being in my hotel room down in Tampa last year, watching the Cowboys-Packers game
Yes.
on that Sunday before the Eagles-Bucks game.
They went into
And
Dallas and destroyed them.
And they destroyed them. And I get it. Going into Dallas isn't the same as going into Philly, but that's a team that I feel like can turn it on.
Wow.
I think that's a team that can play in cold weather. Now, look, the Eagles are a bona fide heavyweight here. Like, the Eagles are a legit Super Bowl contender. So, and I always feel like when you get to the postseason, you got to beat good teams. It's like I hear in college football, some people say Oregon's got it tough right now. Oregon gets the Ohio State draw, where
Right.
Penn State gets Boise State. And I say, look, when you're in the postseason, if you want to advance, you got to beat good teams. You don't complain
Yeah.
about the draw you get. But yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, I would rather. I think the Commanders are a better matchup for the Eagles than the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, before we let you go, any word into what was the thinking of having Jake Elliott take over kickoff duties again?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I asked Nick on Friday, and Nick, there was a little gamesmanship there. Nick said that's a good. I said, are you gonna put Jake in there? Nick said that's a good question. We're confident in Braden Mann. He did not want to put that out there, but in practice last week, I saw Elliott doing it. I think Jake Elliott has a strong leg, and I think directionally he's good there. I think you saw one thing that they want. Braden Mann, they had been going with him. They liked what they saw in the preseason with him, but I just think they wanted the stronger leg there. That's my guess. Now, look, to be fair, 61 degrees and with no rain is different than what it was in Washington with wind and cold weather a week before. But I would keep rolling with Jake, because I thought that really hurt them 2 weeks ago, and I thought you saw some good kicks yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. Zach, great stuff, man. Now you got me nervous about the Packers. Because all I'm thinking about, look, they go, well, Washington's going to lay down because they won that miraculous game. You're going to go into Dallas. You're locked in. But then I'm thinking, well, yeah, you're right, because you want to go to this. You want the 6th seed, so you want to play. Oh man, I feel you, brother. Listen, always great. What's your schedule?
Yeah, Bo and I are in studio today at 2:00. So make sure you check that out. I'll speak to Nick Sirianni at 3:15 today. So might have some updates on playing time then. Although I imagine Nick will keep that close to his vest, and have a few good stories coming up on allphly.com. I have 2 pieces from the locker room yesterday. Inside Saquon Barkley's 2,000-yard running game, and then also kind of behind the scenes of the locker room celebration. It was relatively muted compared to what you hear. Even it's a t-shirt and hat game. I'll give you this quick anecdote, because I know you got Brad coming up. I'm waiting to talk to AJ. I'm standing right by Devontae's locker. Devontae kind of moves her up so I can get in that space. He walks out. I say, "Do you want that hat?" Hat was on the ground. He's like, "Nah, I'm good." And it's the same thing. Then AJ says they're used to winning. That winning the division's low hanging fruit. They want more than this. So this is a team that is not impressed by winning the NFC East. This is a team that, as Saquon said, is trying to put banners up in the stadium.
I love it. I think that's beautiful. I love your stuff. It's so
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. You
You're
got
the
it.
best.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Talk
New
to you guys
Year,
soon.
pal.
Happy New Year.
Zachariah! Now, listen. Green Bay's good, but Eagles are a better team.
I'm not worried about Green Bay, really.
All right.
Yeah. The Vikings, I watch them a little bit. They're a little
You may
more
have to go
worrisome
through.
than I thought.
Could you imagine you have to go through all 3 NFC North teams?
Yeah.
You may have to go through Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit
Mhm.
to get to the Super Bowl. They went through the AFC North.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's conquer the North. Conquer the North. Wow. Time for the brain.
Brain.
Red, the brain finder.
There he is, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. The one, the only, the brain. Good morning, Brain.
Good morning. It's funny, Anthony. Until your conversation with Zach there, I had completely, and I'm embarrassed. I thought for sure they were playing Washington
Yeah, so did
in the first. I just was thinking Washington. It was in my head, like,
Yeah,
okay, they're
me
playing
too.
Washington
So I was saying
opening
that.
game.
Yeah.
And then I looked, I'm like, holy smokes. I got to be honest. I think that's a massive difference that I don't know if you're just slow playing it, but I think that's a crazy difference.
Yeah,
I
do
think
too.
Green Bay has, I would say, at least double to triple the chance of beating the Eagles as Washington does.
Yeah,
I think Washington would be a
against the
walkover.
I would make the Eagles 3 against Green Bay, right? Whereas
Three sounds fair. Maybe
Right.
3.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.5, and Washington they're 6.5.
6. Yeah, I mean it's a totally different class of a game, Anthony. So to me, look, what's interesting though, if you're Washington, right? Forget at Green Bay. If you're Washington for this game, this to me is a crazy big game for Washington because right now they'll play the Rams or or Tampa Bay, and to me,
They could beat
if
the
I'm
Rams.
Washington, that's a much better game.
Yeah, you don't
than
want
having
to
to
play
play
the
it.
Eagles. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's funny now that I didn't realize the importance of this game. Like I like them now against Dallas. Actually, I think that line again. I don't see any reason in the world why they would not play that game full out. Because to me, I think that's a huge advantage facing a Rams team or or a Tampa Bay team where, I feel they certainly feel they could easily win that game as opposed to an Eagles game where, look, you think you're going to win every game you play. I get it. But just from a math point of view, much better chance for them to win that game. So that's a big game for them now. And again, from the Eagles point of view, it's a tough, what you just said, that NFC North back-to-back jacks, that ain't going to be easy.
no. Listen, I mean, I'm trying to, because I had the same thing that you did. I'm thinking Washington, right? It's going to be Washington.
Yeah, Washington to me was
but the schedule came out last night. I didn't really I watched the game last night, and then Tirico said, "Oh, I'm off the presses. We got the schedule," and I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, it's going to be Washington." And then, for some reason, I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together, and
I wasn't doing it either. Yeah,
you're right, because if you're Washington, you got a chance to play Tampa or the Rams. You're going to go, and by the way, keep your streak alive. Playing good football. You're going to do that.
I don't think there's any question about it. This is a
without
huge
CeeDee
game
Lamb,
for Washington.
Their offense is tragic.
No, Anthony, you're right. And look, we saw that game yesterday. That was just, as you said, look, again, I give them credit for giving that 5-game stretch they had. But yesterday you saw, I mean, that was just, nothing. They had nothing. They literally had nothing to offer. But again, this to me, again, this game is, I from the Eagles' point of view, to me, having to face Green Bay, look, I get, and again, I really liked Minnesota yesterday. That was my best game. I know it ended up being somewhat close, but I think Minnesota is unbelievable. Sam Darnold, again, there's going to be a point where someone just finally says, all right, you know what? maybe next year he'll go back. The glass slipper will be off. Maybe he'll never ever. But again, he's having a Nick Foles for the entire season, not just for 2 games.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Darnold, why it could last. Again,
well, I think it's going to last.
Yeah,
well, I think it's going.
But here's the argument for it. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't good at SC, right? Like, he was a good quarterback, a highly touted prospect coming out of USC. And again, he goes to 2 bad places. And then you finally have an offensive line. All right, you got a system. You got really good coaching, like we always talk about.
Yeah.
You know, you saw it yesterday. And look, Green Bay, their front is good. They can get pressure on you, right? They do a lot to harass you. So, I thought he played really well. Hung in there. And look, they went after, they tried to take out Jefferson. And,
they did.
Look, Naylor and Addison and Hawkinson, he went to those guys.
That's the thing about that team. Again, that team to me has been criminally underrated all year. Like, I just don't think people are seeing it. And it's like, here they are. 14-2.
I knew that was your best game. I agreed with you. I said the same thing. I'm like, I don't understand why Minnesota's a dog. I don't even. Did it go off as a dog yesterday? Did they?
No, they closed as a 1.5. So they did cover. They deserved to cover. And they were winning the game the entire way. But look, we'll see. I mean, look, the NFC, Anthony, is a beast of a conference right now. Because look, obviously, Detroit. Even though I don't think they're going to do it, I really don't. But they're obviously, if they're at home, they're going to be still a tough out. Minnesota, I think, is terrific. The Eagles, assuming Jalen comes back, are going to be really, really tough. And Green Bay, look, they showed last year, Anthony, they are that team to me that you just don't want to play them, right? You don't mind playing Tampa Bay. You don't mind playing the Rams. You don't mind playing Washington. They're not saying they're bad teams, but you're probably, if you're a good team, you're going to pass go and collect your $200 with those teams. With Green Bay, that's a team they could easily send you home. And I do mean easily. That's a tough, that's going to be a really murderer's row if it falls down the way we think it's going to fall down.
Yeah. Who you like tonight? You like anybody tonight? Lions and Niners?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Look, the game means literally 0 for Detroit. I mean, like nothing. But here's the thing, like Dan Campbell to me, he's not the kind of coach to me that just says, all right, I don't care about this game. I just don't think that's in his DNA or that team's DNA from what they've done all year. The line's sitting 3.5 right now. Not a game I wagered on, but I only would look towards the Detroit side, Anthony, because I do think they are going to care. Even though maybe you say they shouldn't, but I just think the way the DNA of that team is in San Francisco, I think they've shown time, kind of the opposite of Minnesota. They've shown time and time and time again who they are, right? There's no mystery. You're looking behind door number 2, waiting to see the team that lost in the Super Bowl last year. Guess what? You're not going to find it. They're not there. They're gone. So to me, it's Detroit or pass.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, like you said, there's nothing to play for because either way, you're going to play Minnesota for the 1 seed. And,
100%.
And if you're Niners, you're out. Like I don't know what kind of effort you're going to get.
Well, here's the thing, Anthony, and again, and I always say this for everyone watching. I think this is very, 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 very important. When you talk about effort, right? There's 2 different things. The players, to me, Anthony, always try their hardest because they're playing for a job every week. They're never saying, I'm talking, but organizationally, you may say, all right, we're resting Saquon Barkley. We're going to put in Kenny Gainwell. Now, Kenny Gainwell's going to do his best. He's going to do his darndest.
Right, it's just the level of player, right.
But, right, yeah, the players are always, to me, always going to give their best effort. But organizationally, like, for example, do they say, okay, we're going to put in Jared Goff, we're only going to play a quarter. We're only going to play a half. We're only going to play you 1 series. We just don't want to risk it. We want you healthy for this Minnesota game and for the playoffs. This game doesn't mean much. Yeah, we'll get you 2 drives in. That's the stuff we don't know what's going to happen. But I never, ever, ever question a player's effort, Anthony, because I think they're always playing, always max effort. You saw it with the Giants yesterday, right? I mean, they're number 1 pick in the draft, right? And they're still doing their best because the players who are playing, they don't care about that. Right. So I think it's more of an organizational thing, Anthony, versus the effort. I think it's
I agree with you. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow too, but we got a big day of college football, big couple days, man.
Huge. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow. And I'll give you a couple quick NBA props. My friend PJ Washington, Dallas Mavericks, under 2.5 assists, 19 and 6 the under. He averages 2. It's too many assists. Anthony and Laurie Markin and Utah Jazz under 24.5 points. He's averaging 19.5. He's gone under that about 70% of the time. Should not be 24.5 for a guy averaging 19.5. Even though his trend's been a little bit better.
Yo, listen, they're all the squad is on a run. That they got
but you know what, Anthony, and I'll leave you on this note. Let me ask you a question. And again, I'm Paul George. His shoot. I don't know if he's just like his shoot. He can't shoot the ball now. I mean, he's a 40% 3-point shooter that's shooting 28, 29 every time he shoots. I expect him to miss. This has not been what I expected Paul George to be.
No, he does not look. He does not look like it at all. No, if
you know, saying a fish out of water.
Matt, like it beats greatness. Like, you know, he's ridiculous. Like, he's on the floor the other night. Now, I suckered in. I watched a lot of it, and you know, against Utah, and you know, I mean, he's just.
I won't tell anyone.
He's just ridiculous, right? He just is. And Max, he's playing. Max, he's such a great player. You like him tonight?
I love him.
I like him tonight.
Yeah. You know, well, Portland's like, you know, not bad. Portland's like, I mean, look, well, they're bad, but I mean, I mean, look, not a game I'm playing. I don't trust the Sixers, Anthony. I don't. Yeah. I don't. I just can't get my. I do not trust them.
What's the line
it's
of
gonna
that
take
game?
a long. It's like a spouse. It's like a spouse who cheated on me time and time again. And this time it's different, honey. Line is we're written right now. The line is 6. For me, it would be Portland or pass.
All right.
Trash tonight. We got a trash special tonight for you, Brad.
Oh, there we go.
Princeton Tigers -6 versus Akron Zips. Princeton coming off a big win against Rutgers. We got two top 5 players on that Rutgers team in the draft coming out.
Yeah.
Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey.
Anthony, my son, one of his best friends in high school, now starts for Princeton. So I always root for Princeton.
Oh,
Jackson,
good kid.
So I always root for Princeton, and I always hope they.
When do you start getting involved with college basketball? Will you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Look, actually, again, I think this year, Anthony, in college, I actually think the college game. Again, I think there's a lot of good teams this year. Again, I think college this year is like I've enjoyed watching the college basketball this year. I think this is a good spot for college basketball. And I think there's a lot of good teams this year. Yeah. Actually, really, I enjoy watching college very much. Football, again, I don't think the college football was quite as good. Again, I'm sure we're gonna get good games here, but and we'll talk about that more tomorrow.
I'd rather watch a trash bowl game than I
watched them all. I've been watching them all. There were some
good games.
There've been some good ones. Yes.
I was watching Army Saturday night, flipping between the Rams and the
the Oklahoma Navy game was good.
Yes.
Last play of the game.
Yeah.
And you got your cover with Navy?
Yeah. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, man.
He did. He said Navy was going to win.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, looking good today. We think you look dapper. The hair product is nice. The hair looks good. The shirt's nice. Collar's well done. Minimal neck hair. We like the look today.
I mean, look, it's what we talk about it, right? It's like once a week.
Yeah, Mondays. Mondays is cleanup day.
It's like once a week. Once a week, I let myself look presentable. Yeah. I'll never fall in a habit.
Doesn't go unnoticed. The chat has noticed, and we respect your look today.
I love the chat.
I mean, again, it's like I'm a one-trick pony. Once a week, I'll look okay.
I feel you, brother. Good stuff, man. All right, we love you, Brain. See you, buddy. There he is, the Brain, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I
can I tell you what? I don't even know how this came up.
What's that?
During the Timberwolves game, one of the commentators takes a shot at Embiid. They must have been talking about Embiid. But the quote is, I wish he'd be as angry about not playing games as he is about a call. Is there a worse flopper in the game than Joel Embiid?
Are you serious? Yeah. Man, he gets shrapnel across the league.
It's not even, the Sixers aren't even playing in this game. I don't know who the Bulls are.
Dude, he gets shrapnel across the league. You know that.
Yeah.
You know he does that. Oh, my God. Listen, I know he went overboard with the official. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Dude. I find myself starting to get sucked in
to the Sixers. You coming back? Well, it's New Year's. I mean, I might wait till MLK Day. I'm going to wait till MLK Day.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what it is too? God, I'm already depressed about football. I am.
You still got like 5 weeks of football left.
No, but just the last and these trash. Nobody like this weekend sucks.
Then we get rolling. Playoffs are here. Is there playoff football?
If I could rewind, I would rewind.
You'd rather watch 5 more weeks of regular season to get into the playoffs?
Yes.
Oh, get out of here.
Because I still had the playoffs after that. All right. Yeah, like the phrase goes, I said 84 was the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he went, no, it was the Raiders. I'm like, no, 83 was the Raiders.
I looked it up wrong because I went 1984 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it goes for the one that was in 1984, which would have been the Raiders.
He tries to correct you with poor research.
Right.
It's not like it goes off the head his knowledge.
And it's me.
Yeah,
right? Like, you know.
You probably remember the day it was played.
You know when it comes to that stuff.
Yes.
I know what I remember that stuff. Marcus Allen, I'm sitting. It was me and my cousin.
Here we go.
I was over at my Uncle Carmen's house. We were watching the game.
We were eating
It was
some
Raiders,
pizza.
Washington. It was Raiders and Washington. We were in Southwest Philly, and Marcus Allen reverses field, and it was incredible. My cousin and I rooting Raiders.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah. Do you know who the 49ers beat in that Super Bowl?
Bengals.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that was 82. They beat the Bengals.
Oh.
All right, hold on. It was San Fran. What's Cincinnati? San Fran beat. Give me a minute. I'll think of it. Don't tell me.
All right. I won't tell you.
Tell us about some Glatt.
Ah, man, I would love to tell you about some Glatt. I'd like for you, if you got thinning hair, to change it all around and end up with a nice head of hair so you don't have to wear a beanie cap to sleep in like I do so I don't get chilly through the night. Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical is there to help you if you've got thinning hair. Established by the late, great Dr. Paul Glatt, it's now part of the Morgenstern Center under the direction of renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Ken Morgenstern. He's a nationally recognized specialist and among the few surgeons in the country trained in oculofacial plastic surgery. Doctors Morgenstern and Dr. Glatt were friends. They had a bond that shared many decades. They worked on collaborative research projects together, and they worked in the operating room together. So
Miami.
What makes Dr. Glatt and Glatt Hair Restoration by
I had
Morgenstern
to
Medical
think about it. Sorry,
better?
Dr. Glatt.
Miami?
It was Dolphins.
I thought maybe there's a Glatt hair place in Miami.
No, it was the Dolphins. Who they beat? 82 was the Bengals, and then 84 was Miami.
You couldn't wait till we finished the read. You had to get it in.
Well, I'm sorry, Dr. Glatt.
So anyway, what makes Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical better? Well, it's the same peerless approach to care you've known, same expert team, and the same unmatched Glatt system. Each member of this exceptionally trained team brings over 30 years of industry experience to the table, so they know what they're doing, and all they do is hair restoration. Anyone can buy equipment and say they do hair restorations. You know, there's these other pop-up companies, but no one does hair like Glatt Hair. They offer decades of proven results. They can help you during all stages of hair loss. They've got non-invasive treatments like laser light therapy and TED treatments, and each patient receives a complimentary consultation from your very first phone call to your last follow-up. They know it's a little stressful, so they're there to walk you through. Glatt Hair isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about your hair, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit glatthairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
Love it. Love it. All right, time now for the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. So we do. We have all kinds of good college football coming up. We got the game tonight. Right? But coming tomorrow night, Penn State, Boise.
Is Penn State's favored by 32?
I think the game's going to be close. I like Penn State, but I think it's going to be
What's the line on this at Bet Parks?
13, I think. Something
12.
Like that. 12. You know, listen, I think the line went down. And then the full New Year's Day of 3 monster playoff games, including Ohio State and Oregon. New Year's Day, I'm just going to sit back and just watch these great football games, enjoy it.
Wait. When do you watch the Mummers?
What?
No, you can put the Mummers on in the morning.
I love the Mummers. I do.
See the comics running around, little froggy car.
Dude, I love the Mummers. I do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the Mummers.
Who that froggy car?
I used to go all the time. I loved it. But it's college football day for me.
You know, Ohio State is favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game, I think, is winning the whole thing.
I like Ohio State.
I think Ohio State.
Don't sleep on the Irish, cuz.
I mean, I'm not sleeping on the Irish,
Bet
but
Parks, I told you, way back, it was a month ago, Irish were 26-1.
should have taken it.
All right? They have a good shot. But you know what? All the playoff games, you name it. All the props you want. For like Brad gives you all the NBA props right there. Hockey, right? Flyers. You want to go to that? On the Bet Parks app. All that stuff's right there. You can't beat it. Plus all the casino games, live dealer blackjack, all the hot online slots. Right
They got a
there.
Squid Game slot.
Do they really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Squid Game, man.
Look at I put this little money line parlay in. What do you think?
We got
Penn State, Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame. Pays 520.
Penn State, Oregon.
Texas, Notre Dame.
I mean, the
All
Oregon.
money line.
Yeah.
Oregon's a scary one, I guess.
Yeah, that's why you get that's
But 5-1.
yeah. No, it's
at this.
listen, you got a little have some
He's
fun.
got
with it.
Notre Dame winning. Can't believe it.
Well, listen, Georgia
I did not
scared.
say that.
Georgia
Throw that
scared.
out for
Georgia actually scares me, to be honest with you.
Without
Because
Peck?
the backup quarterback, his name's Gunner. Is that a great name for
That is a great
quarterback?
name.
It's a great name
Gunner.
for any athlete.
Yeah.
Give me a baseball gunner and baseball.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
He's
is
a
a great.
gunner.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he might be better than Beck. So he worries me a little
Don't
bit.
say that.
Well, he scares me a little bit. But anyway, you can find all that action on the BetParks Sportsbook online casino app. Check it out. BetParks.com has all details for everything happening. You will love it. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. This portion of the show brought to you by Rite Aid. RiteAid.com for your nearest Rite Aid store and pharmacy. Now, let's go inside the film room. Franny Films Leatherhead.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all 22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
Yeah! Franny Films! Good morning!
Morning, Ant. Morning, VG. How you guys doing?
Good
Happy
morning.
New Year, pal. Happy New Year.
That's right. Same to you guys.
Dude, yesterday was just a New Year's Eve party. It was just a party.
Yeah.
How good is that? We'll say Barkley because he's the obvious, right? We talk about him all morning. But let's, with you, go inside the O-line and what you saw again yesterday in that second half as they just dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's the way this team is built. They're just built to wear you out physically, mentally, emotionally. And that's what happened here in the second half of this game. I honestly was shocked just watching the film and just seeing the lack of adjustments from Dallas in this game, from Mike Zimmer. The Eagles came out, a bunch of 12 personnel. You've got your third quarterback in the game. You're trying to get the rushing record. You're trying to coast to victory. You've got to win. You would think like, all right, like we've got to sell out to try and stop the run. We've talked about that over the last several weeks, that teams were just selling out to try and stop the run, force the Eagles to throw. The Cowboys just stayed out there in their nickel defense and just got pummeled over and over and over and over and over again. This was a team that looked like they were just playing to get back on the plane. At the end of the day, like that's what that looked like. It was a really weird game from a coaching standpoint from Dallas, especially on the offensive side of the ball too. I mean, it's 3rd and 5. How often did we see Mike McCarthy, call a run and we'll kick it back, right? I mean, it was just a weird game from Dallas. It wasn't quite, because the stakes were a little different. It wasn't quite 41-6 back in, 2008? But it's almost the same score, and just a thorough domination there on both sides of the football from this team.
It really was, man. My God. And not for nothing. But enjoying a season where you bury them twice, let's not like just gloss over that.
Right.
That was just that's a thing of beauty.
75-13 point differential is nuts.
Yeah, Franny, I mean, your dominance, it just speaks to it, man. It really is.
It's been a long time since the Eagles have swept the Cowboys, just because it had been a while since they had beaten them down there in Jerry World. And so being able to win decisively in both of these outcomes. I mean, you asked me last week, though, Ant, like, does the fact that Dallas is just so down take something out of it? A little bit. Like, you'd rather them at least put up a little bit of a fight. I mean, it was That was ugly. It was. Yeah, I've breezed through the offensive film this morning. There just wasn't a lot to take away, other than the fact that the Eagles just put it to them, and that's what you want. That's what you want your team to do when you're going up against a bad team, a wounded team, to just put them out of their misery, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you. Like you look, and without CeeDee Lamb, their offense, I mean, they couldn't do anything. Like you saw them put up a bit of a fight over the previous 3 weeks, but I mean, they had nothing. You never felt stressed. The Eagles defense never felt stressed once.
Yeah, early on in the game, like Dallas was moving, they started moving the ball. They get to midfield. That's when the pick six happens.
Yeah.
Then they come out in the next drive and they go down the field and they score. And I'm like, okay, like Dallas, it looks like they're coming to play a little bit. And then, like I said, after that, it was just, okay, we're going to go run for 1 yard, run for 2 yards. Let's throw a screen. Let's punt. All right, let's throw an arm punt here. All right, let's go. Let's run on 3rd and 6. Like, it's just getting out of the game. It was a very weird last 2.5 quarters from Dallas from a coaching standpoint. Because I defensively, like I said, just consistently just saying, you know what? I know that they've got 6 offensive linemen out in the field. I know that they're coming out with 13 personnel. Yeah, we'll just play nickel. Let's just figure out. We'll see if we can get off the field this way. And just continually the nail to the Eagles hammer over and over and over again in this game.
Dude, you got to explain that to me, because I'm watching how they're playing defense, particularly the second half, and it felt like they wanted to keep the clock moving. Like
that's how it looked.
Because I saw the same thing. I'm like, you're in nickel the whole you know what the Eagles are going to do. Why aren't you trying to match personnel?
Yeah, it's 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 5, which hey, that's a balance down, especially if you're the Eagles in this situation. You're up by a touchdown or 2. You're near midfield. The Eagles are a 4-down team that they might go for it on 4th down. They come out in their pressure look with a lot of speed on the field, and the Eagles like, okay, we'll run the ball and we'll run it for 6. And that's the way that they went about it. I mean, Tanner McKee played the majority of this game. He threw 4 passes just because the Eagles just said, okay, we're just gonna run it. We're gonna run it, and we're gonna run it some more.
It was funny because, like everybody else, I liked McKee. I liked McKee from training camp. Now, obviously, you weren't going to play him. Yes, you weren't going to start him over Pickett. The whole thing. I get it, right? But there's something about McKee that I just like. I like his arm. I do. And so I told VG, we're in the elevator. I told McKee looked good, right? And he goes, he threw 4 passes, and I'm like, you're right. You're right. But there's a presence. I don't know what it is. Why? I like the way he throws the ball.
You're a size king. You hate the tiny guy, the tiny hands. No matter what sport it is, you like the big guys. That's it. You're anti-tinier guys.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's it. You're 100%.
You see him, he looks big. Looks like a quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like Penix. Penix got big hands.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm most excited.
You're a sizist.
I am a sizist.
Yeah.
I'm most excited, Franny, that my Massimo has huge hands.
Yep.
Like, I'm so excited.
He's like stretching out the fingers. We can get these a little longer.
Well,
stretch
I'm working out the high school ball, right? Because if he's working out the high school ball, it gets his hand. So every coach he meets, I go, Dad, show me your hands. Like, so maybe that's why I like McKee.
And look, I think stylistically, people I think of Kenny Pickett, and it's like, oh yeah, he's going to play within structure and he's going to get the ball out. He is much closer to Jalen Hurts from a play style standpoint than I think people understand. He wants to kind of run around and make plays. That's what he is at his most comfortable. Remember, the dam really broke for Pickett in this pass game yesterday on that 34-yard catch by Grant Calcaterra down the field where he ran around, he made something happen, and he made that play outside of structure. After that, he kind of settled in a little bit more. But whereas when you look at McKee is not going to give you that. McKee is not going to be the runaround type. He's going to get the ball out. He does a nice job of playing within rhythm, within structure. He's a little bit more accurate, and his timing and presence is a little bit better.
Yeah, he's got a bigger arm.
Glad you brought up the Paisan. He jump-started the whole offense, it felt like, with that catch. Calcaterra, baby. So underrated. He's having a nice season.
No, but he is. But getting back to it, no, you're exactly right. When Pickett was at Pitt, that's what he liked to do. He liked to freelance. He liked to go, that's where he is comfortable. I agree with you. He is much more like Jalen in that respect.
Yeah, and so that's why I kind of liked him being the backup to Jalen coming into the season. I was doing a bunch of deep dive statistical looks at Jalen from last year. Looking forward. All right, what can we expect to change with Jalen Hurts? And right next to him on a number of categories when it came to like tendencies, like how often he held the ball and how often he scrambled, how often when he did hold the ball did he push it downfield. Kenny Pickett was right next to him, when he was the starter with the Steelers, right next to him in a number of those categories. Stylistically, they are very similar in that way. And so some of the negatives that you see pop up with Jalen are going to pop up with Kenny. There are very similar quarterbacks in that way.
What are you guys laughing at?
Just the size jokes in the chat room. Someone said, okay, Rez, you subscribe to Girth Masters OnlyFans out of pure respect.
Chat never fails.
God. So you guys take it off the rails. Franny and I are having serious football conversations, and you guys take it off the rails.
That's why we're here.
Franny. All right, let's go inside the NFC a little bit. Let's talk some football. First, before we do that, last night watching Daniels and Penix was just awesome. Like, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game.
Yep.
I enjoyed that game. Daniels is special, man. That dude. I thought that Atlanta had unlocked something because they kept dropping the linebacker, right? And it cost them the interception.
Yep. And
he was getting fooled by a lot of their coverage. And next thing you know, they figure it out. I mean, he was just that last drive in overtime. It was a 6-minute drive in overtime. I mean, the drive to tie or take the lead. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, I do think, we said it last week. I think Washington, I'm not as worried about them big picture here in 2024, but I think long term, the way that they're building there, I think is pointed in the right direction. They get Daniels. And they're going to be a team that the Eagles are going to have to deal with here in the coming years. And I think when you look, at the way that they are structured this year right now, the biggest thing that gives you concern, they have won a bunch of games late. You talk about like the Hail Mary, they beat Cincinnati late, they beat Dallas late in comeback fashion. You have last night winning in overtime. They beat the Eagles in comeback fashion last week in the fourth quarter. So this is a team that is not going to quit when they get into the postseason. They've got a little bit more faith, a little bit more a little bit of confidence now. If they do get down, that guy number 5, he's going to have that ability to bring them back. And I think when you look at Daniels, he's got that playmaking dimension that gives them a lot of confidence.
Well, and I've always loved Michael Penix because I love his arm. Like, he's got one of the elite arms that you'll ever see. And it's funny, I sat down at the Super Bowl last year, and then at the Combine, he threw in a hotel room. And did you see the video in the hotel?
Mm-mm.
His agent sent it to me.
Yeah.
I put it out there where he throws it over like a second floor balcony through like a ballroom.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. He misses the guy. He misses the touch on the game tying drive. He misses a touchdown in the corner of the end zone. And he knows it. And he grabs his head. He's like, oh. Then he comes back and he makes that throw. Right in the middle of the end zone, low, the only place where you could put that ball, and he just gunned it in there. What a throw. He's got great arm talent.
No question. And so to me, when I look at Atlanta, that's another team where you look at his athleticism, his arm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It was more of a statement. I thought
you look at his. Yeah. No, when you look at his arm talent, I mean, he's got that ability to beat you down the field. And then with his athleticism, they just need another playmaker or two. And then defensively, they've got to continue to add talent there, especially up front. They just don't have enough juice yet, Atlanta. We'll see. I mean, they still could win that division, obviously, with a win this week. But look, this is a team that I think also the arrow's pointing up on them moving forward.
All right, so we were talking about it earlier. Washington goes into Dallas. If Washington wins, Green Bay comes here. How do you feel about that?
Yes. Look, at the end of the day, you get into the postseason, you're going to have to play some of these good teams at some point. I don't love Green Bay as a round one matchup. You'd rather start with Washington, right? I think that's a weaker team overall. I do think, look, the Eagles, they just handled Baltimore. I think Baltimore you put probably even a tier above Green Bay, if not on the same tier. I do think that the Packers are a tough round one draw. But look, when you look at this team, the way that football from a run game standpoint, time of possession standpoint, and you feel good about that, especially if you're able to play defense the way that we've seen throughout the majority of the year. Now, you go back to Washington last week, the early stages of this game against Dallas, where the offense is able to move the ball a little bit, get into a rhythm, the opposing offense I'm talking about. You don't want Jordan Love to start feeling himself that way, because that's a team that can get into a rhythm. They've got a bunch of playmakers on that side of the football. And defensively, the thing that worries me about Green Bay is that they've been an opportunistic defense for the majority of this season. They've taken the ball away at such a high rate. And those are the defenses that scare you most in the playoffs, because those are the things that can tilt a game. In a blink of an eye. You got an interception from Xavier McKinney. You got a strip sack from Rashawn Gary. You've got a tip ball in the middle of the field from those long linebackers, those athletic linebackers in the middle of the field. Those are the things that worry you when you go up against a defense like Green Bay, is that they've got the ability to take the ball away and give it back to Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Plus their front is good. Their front is very good. And if you're going to beat them, you probably want to beat them down the field. So it's kind of an interesting matchup from that standpoint.
Yeah, and look, everything's going to come full circle, because the teams played in the first game of the season back in week 1 in Brazil, but both those teams were trying to feel each other out in terms of like what their identities were going to be. It was a new defensive scheme for both teams. What were they ultimately? This is good. It's gonna be a big matchup here. It's obviously Washington's still on the table, but it looks like it'll be more likely it'll be the Packers coming to the link in wild card round.
Bring it, bring the cheeseheads.
Well, that'll be like the prime time. That'll be the big wild card, the first divisional round game, like that weekend.
Yeah,
that should be.
I would think so.
That'll be like the marquee game, because you think about it, right? You'll have who else? You'll have Tampa Bay. You'll have Washington, the Rams. You'll have Tampa, Minnesota. Is that how it'll probably play out?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling now. Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. So, Professor Daniz Selman, you should be obviously all of your viewers should be following Daniz for all the work he does with us on the PHLY Eagle Show. But he does a great job of all the playoff scenarios, and he puts out all these graphics, and obviously always outstanding. So I'm taking a look now. So. Yeah, if the Eagles do play Green Bay, then you're looking at Detroit or Minnesota. Obviously, a lot will happen Sunday night in terms of who has the 1 seed, the Lions or the Vikings.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So if Detroit wins that game, then you're looking at Vikings versus most likely NFC South winner. So Falcons, Bucks, with Washington going out west to take on the Rams. That would be the most likely outcome. If things were to go that way. And so now it's a matter of, all right, does Washington go out on the road and get an upset there? How does that affect reseeding after that? Look, it's going to be. I would agree that Eagles, Packers, that would probably take be one of the prime slots, maybe the Sunday night game that first weekend.
Right, because then you have in the AFC, you'll have the two marquee teams will be Buffalo and Baltimore.
You'd have Buffalo right now versus Denver.
Yeah, so it would be a matter of, do they want if it's the Harbaugh Bowl, like as it looks like it might be Chargers Ravens in first round, so 6 versus 3. That would obviously take a lot there. That first game will be Steelers Texans. Get that out of the way. That's Saturday 1:00. You're playing that early, and then it's whoever Buffalo's hosting, whether that's Miami, whether that's Denver, potentially Cincinnati. You're probably getting rid of that early. So I would say the two prime games, wild card weekend: Chargers Ravens, Packers Eagles.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, my God. By the way, that Bengals, did you watch the Saturday Bengals, that Bengals game Saturday?
I caught glimpses between some points. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was ridiculous. First of all, Bo Nix, I mean, we've been talking about him a while, the type of year he's having. That game going back and forth was awesome. And those Burrow's just the man.
I feel for him, man.
I do too. He's so great, and he's on such a
mediocre team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's a team that defense has to get completely redone from the ground up.
Hey, Fran, great stuff.
Yeah,
my brother.
they in that pass rush.
Yeah, we're having some internet problems with you, but we love you, brother. Happy New Year. We'll be chopping it up. You know that. Thanks, pal.
Yep, sounds good. Talk to you guys.
Frady Films. I was struggling because I guess there was a lag on his end.
I think there was a little connection issue on his end. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was only because it sucks because I'm waiting. There's that lag, and it hurts the flow of the conversation.
Yeah,
I want to geek out even more.
Geek out. Were you a little surprised watching the game? I'm like, they've really thrown a Q, right? They threw a couple passes early on at Quinyon. I'm surprised by that. I'm like, for me, it was like, how dare they even try it?
Well, who was it last week? They talked about testing him a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it's good for him going into play. Listen,
it's good for us. Test them. Go ahead.
Going into the playoffs against Green Bay, they got 5 receivers. You got Jaden Reed.
Mm-hmm.
You got Dobbs.
Mm-hmm.
You got Wicks, Watson, Bo Melton. They got 5, and you got Kraft and Luke Musgrave.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of weapons.
I'm not worried about
besides Jacobs.
Yeah, we beat him already.
Yeah. Jalen Carr's going to feast. Jalen Carr's going to feast.
You want to talk about, you guys are saying, oh, Saquon, football gods. You're like glossing over Green Bay.
Not glossing over. I just think the Eagles are a better team. From top to bottom.
Those fans are going to come here. They could put a cheese head on Rocky.
I mean,
and they're going to screw themselves over.
They're nice receivers, but none of those receivers put the fear of anything into me with our secondary.
All right. I think they're really good. I think it's a great game. I think the Eagles, obviously, I hope the Eagles will win. I view it differently. All right. I'm worried. Like, that to me is a worry game, dude. You got no worry in it?
I mean, of all the people, I mean, obviously,
like,
I'd rather the Birds play Washington, obviously.
Right.
But, I mean, yeah, of all the Packers, I don't know. They seem like an underperforming team.
I don't know. Underperforming?
Yeah.
Why? How they've underperformed?
I don't know. They just don't look like I don't see anything that they do extremely well. What are they doing well?
They have a great offense.
It's okay. We have a great offense.
Okay. I'm not just because I say the Packers offense is
yeah,
great.
But ours is far better.
Doesn't mean I don't think the Eagles.
Like, listen to receivers you named and listen to look at the Sixers, the Eagles receivers. Like, they're not even the same class.
Dude, I'm telling
our
you.
Our running backs, I respect Josh Jacobs, but our running back is in another world.
All right. They have
our
a great
quarterback is far better.
Jordan Love's good.
He's good. Yeah.
Also, who have they beaten? That's the other thing.
Wow,
it's like they haven't really, you look at their schedule that they've played this year.
Let's do this. Tell us about some Shady Rays. We'll talk about Parks, and then we'll dive into their schedule. Okay?
All right. Let's hear a little bit about Shady Rays. I'm a huge sunglass guy. I don't leave the house without my sunglasses and my Shady Rays. So neither should you. Protect your eyes and get ready for the season ahead with some quality shades that are built to last. Our friends over at Shady Rays got you covered with some premium polarized sunglasses and frames that will not break the bank. Shady Rays, they're an independent sunglass company offering world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 satisfied people. The shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them perfect choice for all your outdoor activities. They got hundreds of options to choose from, all kinds of colors and styles. So whatever you're looking for, they got something you'll dig. They probably even have a style in your favorite team's color, like a Kelly green. You probably can find a Kelly green there. I like to wear them while I'm driving and walking around the city. Takes the glare out of everything. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head over to shadyrays.com and use the code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. So, polarized sunglasses are expensive. 35% off is a bargain. Try it for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They are Shady Rays.
All right. Shady Rays. Gotta love that. Let's talk about our boys over at Parks Casino. The new year's going to be good. right? The new year is going to be pretty good. All the guests are coming. So get your tickets for Parks Casino and the Excite Center. All right, parkscasino.com for all the tickets to the events. Of course, you can go there and hang out and have a blast, right? You got the Parks Grill Steakhouse, the Bamboo Noodle House. You name it, all the great food, all the table games. And here you go. These incredible acts just announced May 16th. Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
Plus a second show for comedian Ron White on March 20th.
Can't fix Dallas.
SNL's Colin Jost returns for 2 nights at Parks Casino March 14th and 15th.
Go watch my brother. He's on Practical Jokers.
Country artist Cole Swindell, February 7th.
Oh, she had me at Heads Carolina, Tails California.
The reggae sounds of Shaggy on January 18th.
Girl,
You're my angel. You're my darling angel.
January 24th, actor Richard Kahn from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Whoa, Larry. Whoa. You're going to beat Green Bay.
February 8th, Jerry Cantrell, Alice in Chains.
I'm the man in the box.
March 8th, magician Michael Carbonaro from the Carbonaro Effect.
Yo, where'd my wallet go?
Country star Lee Brice, March 22nd.
Well, there's a rumor going round about me and you.
ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, this portion of the show is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Go to TrueMark.com/PHLY to find the credit union difference. All right, coming up, we're going to go through the playback. We're going to talk about the 2K Club. So we got lots to get into. But first, you guys, your disrespect to the Packers really worries me. Have you guys watched them?
I watched them on Red Zone. I saw the game yesterday. I saw the game yesterday.
Touchdowns.
Red Zone. It's my biggest enemy.
It's my biggest enemy. If your biggest enemy is Red Zone, you're living a good life.
Yeah, right. It's only because you guys go, who cares about their Packers? Packers are good. Really, really good. They have a great offensive line. Jordan Love is a very good quarterback. They have a lot of weapons. They can run it. They're very well balanced.
Against this trash schedule, yes, they were.
Yeah.
Dude, they start getting hot.
Who'd they beat?
All right, they cry. When the Niners had gotten McCaffrey back and they started to roll, they beat San Fran 38-10.
Niners stink.
Yeah, they stink.
Then they come back on a short week, beat the Dolphins 30-17.
Stink.
Then they played Detroit to a standstill. They lost 34-31 in Detroit.
Yeah, it's a good interdivision game.
Then they go on Sunday Night Football with the 12th man freaking out, and they completely take Seattle out of the game. They go for two touchdown drives to start the game. Boom, boom. And they go on to win 30-13.
Wait, they beat a team with Geno Smith quarterbacking?
Yeah,
Stinks.
You guys are terrible. Then they blow out the Saints, and then yesterday.
Yeah, they've beaten the Colts, the Titans.
Dude.
Bears, Jags.
Stinks.
You guys have no respect.
Yeah. Not one big, whoa, that's a big win.
I'm warning you two now. All right? I'm warning you two now. If the Eagles lose that game, and they play Green Bay and they lose, it's on you. All right? It's on the both of you.
All right.
Yeah. Warning you right now, it's on the both of you.
Listen, we're not saying it's going to be a cakewalk. We're just saying the Packers
You're
haven't
no respect.
Packers haven't played anyone.
Bay's really good.
Against slop.
Yeah. Dude, no,
they didn't play the likes. They didn't play the likes of the Ravens and the Steelers. Come on, man.
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers are a good team.
Are they?
They beat the Cardinals.
Steelers are a good team.
You guys are
Steelers will roll over this Packers squad.
No, they would not. Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Or are you just trying to get me?
Yes, I am just trying to get you riled right now. Yeah.
Why? For what? Especially you. I got you're not watching football. I know what you're doing. You're not watching football.
It was the Raiders.
right.
The Raiders won in
He's trying to tell you
83 or
about
84.
like Green Bay. We already established. I don't go to you for X's and O's.
Yeah.
Mr. I talk about size, and the next thing you know, he's in the chat talking about girth jokes. Child.
His whole Instagram. The last 3 days, it feels like it's all Liverpool and soccer stories. He's going to tell you about football.
Oh, man.
What's going on? I don't know.
Boxing Day's big day, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man. It's a holiday in England. All the Premier League teams play. My buddy's
that, like MLK
going
Day
to the
here?
pub at like 6 a.m. to watch
Is that like
Liverpool.
MLK Day? We're all
Bobcat.
Bobcat, the guy who stole your beer at Reading Terminal and drank it.
Man.
He's a big Liverpool guy, too.
Yeah.
He gets up early to go watch the games.
A brother in arms.
When was Boxing Day?
It was the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And everybody goes and watches. They all play?
It's like a big thing for the Premier League.
Is it
They'll
like
play the games
like
and stuff
NBA
like
on
that.
MLK?
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
I
missed it. I was watching bowl games.
Yeah.
Eagles beat Bengals, Commanders, healthy Rams, Ravens, Steelers. Come on, man. That schedule's brutal.
Yeah.
They're tested, ready to go for this playoff.
Listen, I get it, but you guys, Green Bay's not Washington. They're not.
Yeah, Washington's
care
playing a
what
little better right now.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
Dude, I don't care what you agree with. All right.
Who do you like as a young quarterback? You like Jordan Love or you like Jaden Daniels?
I like them both.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback, I think, right now.
Dude, I like them both. I love J.D. Daniels. I think he's a great player. But Jordan Love's really, really good.
Yeah, he's good. Agree.
All right. Let's go into the playback, and then we'll do our 2K club.
Yeah, can we get a little Italian music for the Calcaterra catch that I imagine is on this playback, I hope?
It is, actually.
It is. It's on here.
It
Jump started the offense. The
It
passing
actually
game.
is.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, no, my man Freddie's put it on there.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I don't miss anything because I watch the games.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. All right. It was Kelly Green, Eagles, Dallas. Let's rewind it back to yesterday. Here they go.
The green with the gray silver pants, the best.
It is the best.
I don't know, maybe it's me. I wish the end zones were the silver.
Yeah,
They had them back in the day,
Yeah.
the silver end zone.
Yeah.
You know what bugs me? When they did this last year, the score bug that they have in the game, last year they used the actual white eagle, like the original logo. This year they didn't change it. It's the only thing that bugs me, the score bug.
Oh, hey, before I don't know if you have it as the game thing, but it was pregame with Jerry Jones getting roasted by
I do have that,
a
yes.
fan. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see that.
Some guy
I heard about it, but I
Some guy
didn't
just
see it.
roasted him in the nicest way. He's complimenting him and he's like, "Great job, Jerry. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Keep doing it, Jerry."
No.
I'm surprised the dude was not escorted off the field.
Will you have it?
I had it. Where'd it go?
Because I don't
Well, if
see
we
it
get
here.
yeah.
I'll pull it up.
Let's see. Let me see, because I don't see it on this
Let
play
me
sheet.
find.
I got my own play sheet.
All right.
I don't see the Jerry Jones. Here we go.
Hey, give me 1 second. I lost it.
Yeah, no one has. It's just great trolling him. I guess he's getting it towards the end because the guy's just so overboard with his effusive praise of Jerry
What's he
Jones.
yell into the box?
You know, he's like on the field. It's like pregame. He's like right there with Jerry.
Oh yeah, because a lot of like pregame, a lot of fans. There's access.
Yeah, I don't know how he got access, but yeah.
No, but there's access for
yeah.
clients. So
Yeah.
everybody comes on the field
Yeah,
pregame.
so I was surprised.
And then he went right to Jerry, and he was filming it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he went onto the radio afterwards, whatever their local radio is, and he talked about that fan. So
he did.
he was in his head, yeah.
Jerry was ripping there.
Jerry talked about the fan who was ripping him, so it got in his head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
Here it is.
We don't see it.
I'll try to live up to my standard. Jerry, you're doing a great job this year, man. Keep it going. Keep it going, Jerry. Great job. 4 more years.
4 more
Keep doing
years.
what you're doing, Jerry. We love you in Philly. We love you. I know you do. We love you, especially. I'll try to live up to my standard this year for you guys. All right. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I applaud, okay? Good. Jerry, you're doing a
That's fabulous. I heard something about it, but I didn't see it. That's unbelievable.
Just roast
What
him.
did he say to the radio station?
I don't know. I didn't hear what he said.
I just think he brought up the confrontation that happened, and he was saying something about how the
About
guy
Eagle
said
fans
he
or
likes the
something?
job I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
That's great. All right, CJ, GJ, pep talk. Let me see it. Let me hear it. Let me get nuts. Chelsea.
Very close. Hey, like I literally was saying, bro, this gotta be close, bro. Let's go out there, dominate, take off your bus, and play for your brother, bro. One for all for one. Let's go dominate, bro. Let's do this, man. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Hey, 7 3, 1 3, 1 3.
Let's do this. And he did it.
He did it.
Right? He did it right off the bat. CJ, GJ, taking it to the house. An escort. There's nothing better than that. Starting the game with a defensive touchdown. What? Fantastic. Now, Dallas comes back. They actually mount a drive. They had one drive. Here's here you go. Cooper Rush to Cooks.
But he's talented guy. He just can't stay healthy.
Nah, I know. And then they get to Tolbert for the touchdown.
Elliott stays in.
Can we get a week? Can we get a week off with Olsen and that guy? Can we get a week off with
Joe
them?
Davis?
Yeah, I need a break from this.
Joe Davis. Thank God they're not going to do Eagles Packers.
Where was the effusive? Like, oh my God, the Cowboys
By
are
the
getting
way,
smoked by
speaking of
backup
being
quarterbacks.
in your head, Olsen, fans are in his head because he brought it up like 3 different times.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all love.
Yeah.
But the way he said it was, yeah, I'm sure they'll get all me. I was trying to make friends. Well, it's all right. It's all right. I can take it. All right. It's all love. It's all good.
Yeah. They show Kenny Pickett like banged up, and he's like, "Oh, that's something to keep an eye on as the game goes along." You think to keep an eye on a quarterback who's hurt? Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks
He
for
should have
that.
went to Glad hair. I think his hair stuff's toxic. He should have went to Glad.
Thanks for that great insight. I hear you. But here you go. To jumpstart the offense and the passing game.
Yeah.
Grant Calcaterra. Calcaterra. You're right, dude. I'm with you on the Calcaterra bandwagon on that one. And that leads into Devontae. Devontae had a nice game, man.
4 yards, 3rd and 12.
Stepped up in the pocket.
Great route.
Mm-hmm.
He played well. He played very well.
But
He played well.
Tanner McKee, I think, was better.
I mean, it's impossible to kind of,
I know.
I mean, listen, I like McKee. I do, for reasons we've already established. But Devontae's such an elegant player, man.
Yeah. Tiny, but elegant.
He's not tiny.
He's slight. I mean, was he
He's
$160, $150?
He's slight, but he's not tiny. Like tiny on size.
Buck
Like,
60?
small.
No way. He's at least 170.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's number 2, CJG.
Right in the
know.
Q's lap.
I
He had
know.
his hands out
I
waiting
know,
for it.
I know.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
Lesson learned, Rook. Got to get aggressive. Go to the ball.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about CJGJ for 1 second.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. He's very polarizing. I love his attitude. Like to me, I want that all day long. I think he gives them teeth. He's got veteran that's going to give you teeth.
Yeah.
Gives a personality. I think a defense needs guys
Who
like
do you
him.
think? Do you think he's polarizing with the fan base?
Because I have people I know who go, he's a loudmouth.
He
I
is.
go, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I
Yeah,
like a
me
good
too.
vocal leader.
I think you need that.
Yeah.
I think defenses need players like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So anyway, how about this? The Kenny Pickett tush push. I have one question. The guy's got broken ribs, and you're going to run a tush push with him?
I don't understand it. Well, just give Barkley the ball.
Exactly.
Like, what are we
Like,
doing?
why shoehorn tush push with a dude with broken ribs?
Right. I don't get it. I don't know what. The analytics are so much better with the tush push success rate, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, here it is.
Barkley.
I mean, I wanted to give the Barkley.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I want Barkley to.
I agree.
So then in comes McKee, and look at this throw to AJ.
Yeah, it's a nice
That's also
ball.
the second time he did that.
Yeah, it was. Yes. AJ made the one-handed catch.
The one-handed catch.
Which is unbelievable. How he's got such sticky hands. It's ridiculous. But before we get to the ball, how many times Joe Davis going to say float one? He always just floated. And that ball didn't float. That was a beautiful throw, Joe.
Float one. It was like Tom Brady the other week saying muddy.
No, money was acceptable.
Money was acceptable.
Come on, man.
Come on, Frazier. So this is, you can't script this. AJ heaves the ball, and I mean, he realizes, oh my God, it was his first, but he gets told on the sidelines. And then this is the great Patrick. Like, that's great.
No.
The prize ball, he says, oh, please give it back. I'll give you my jersey to get it back from my guy. The fan says, I got you.
There it is, Patrick. Way to go, Patrick. That was classic.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That was awesome. That really was. That was fantastic.
Dom in the middle of it all. He should be an ambassador.
He's the best, Dom.
Yeah.
He is. He's the greatest.
This is a cool scene, too, when he was walking down. You can see all the fans and everything.
Yeah, it was the best.
There.
Saquon hits 2K. Here's the great celebration. This was the best. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
That was fantastic.
Great to see how everybody's so happy for him.
Let's go to, you have the 2K, the 2K players?
I have the graphic here. Yeah, I'll show you.
All right. Did you get the video of the players, though?
Let me get the I don't have any video. I couldn't find much video, but here we go.
All right, there you go.
There
Look
you
at
go,
that.
all your runners.
Nice.
Look at that. Dickerson, Simpson, Adrian Peterson. Look at this. Look at Barry. Terrell Davis. That's fantastic.
What's the Titans? Chris
Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Chris Johnson. That's unbelievable. Look at that crew. Jamal Lewis. Look at that. Look, that's a great graphic you found. In the middle of it, Barkley.
Dude, OJ did it. He's averaging 6 yards an attempt. OJ, he did it 332.
Well, which, 14 games they played back then?
Yeah.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, look, Dickerson was 40-something more carries. He took him.
Oh, my God.
OJ had a year that year.
Oh, I mean, OJ was, yeah.
I mean, OJ was ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
In more ways.
He had multiple 2,000-yard seasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was amazing. I mean, Saquon, 2,000 yards. Wow. Let's go one more. Let's go McKee with another touchdown throw. It was a thing of beauty. NFC East Champs. It was a New Year's Eve party, man. That's what it was. The hat and T-shirt game.
The team's got good vibes.
They do have good vibes.
Yeah, well, they got the vibe leader. Sirianni's doing a good job. It's a good job by him, too. You know, a little stressful week for him. The team came out focused.
Yeah.
Good job by Nick.
Here it is. Speaking of Nick, here he is. Here's his talk in the locker room.
We said together we can do special shit, right? We said together we can do special shit. Rushing for 2,000 yards is special shit. Winning the NFC East. Yeah, speaking of Togo, turning the ball over 4 times again is special shit. But I want a lot more. Think about how special this journey's been so far, right? It can get a lot. We got a lot to be thankful for that. We got a hell of a lot to be thankful for. We are blessed by a ton, all right, in this room. All right, you guys have been blessed with great talents. All right, we got a special team. We want even more now. We said together.
I love it, man.
Surprised there wasn't. We've
was nice.
been blessed with a special GM. You know, you gotta kiss the ring a little bit while you're in here listening to all the special stuff.
Well, yeah, that's not the time to praise Howie.
It's always the time to praise
It's
Howie.
not, well, you're gonna praise what they did. You're out of your mind. All right, time now for a Rite Aid back in the day moment. Let me see it.
We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back. Back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All
right, for the back of the day, we're going to go back to yesterday, and we're going to look at Saquon.
You got to celebrate it again.
Get to 2,000. It's a big moment.
Yeah, it's huge. Now listen, wait a minute. He's showing a little disgust at this being the back in the day moment.
He is.
You know, he was giddy when we did the back in the day before with Cooper DeJean making a tackle.
No,
Yeah.
listen,
He was giddy seeing that as back in the day.
I
But
watched
this
it
is
10
a guy
times
doing
that day.
2,000
because
yards.
here's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
And I'm giddy with Saquon, the 2K.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, he forgot.
No, he did not. This is
He took
me.
an
I
easy
picked,
way out.
I picked this one.
He took an easy way out.
He picked
this
it.
one.
Hey, it's an easy way out.
Oh,
It
man.
is.
I picked
It's
this.
an
It's
easy
a
way.
historic moment.
It is historic. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I'll have a better one for you tomorrow, right?
Because
You
it's not
didn't like this
back
one.
in the day. Like we're just doing a playback. We just did it. Now it's gonna be back in the day. Double it.
Yeah, we just did the Cooper DeJean hit, and you were like, yes, all right, let's see it again. I'll see it 10 more times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
Come
was
on.
different because even then you
Because
guys
it's defense, that's why
No,
it's different.
well, no, he forgot that day too, and that was just me going. All right, I'll hook him up. All right, busy week.
Busy week.
All right, because now we start the party,
That we
and
do.
then it'll get serious. The playoffs, life turns serious after next week.
Casper saying we should have just played the Coop hit.
I know. I should have just pulled that one up.
That was awesome. I still play that over and over again. I play for Anthony all the
It
time.
just plays on his ceiling as he goes
I
to
go,
bed. He watches it
Hey,
over and over
hey,
again.
Come here. He's tired of it. Hey, look at this. I know, Daddy. I know. Sixers tonight. You win?
I mean,
Monday night.
I'll be at the pub with friends. It'll be on in the background. I'll pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sixers. You win? Oh, you're not in anywhere.
He's watching the Beckham
on
documentary.
it.
There's a
Yeah.
Beckham documentary.
He's watching overnight Premier League highlights. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us. Saquon! Congratulations. It was awesome. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. All right, be careful.
Happy New
We'll
Year.
see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.